it's Hillary Potts bringing you leadership strategies for you to bring your best to any business situation. I'm the author of several leadership books, including the Executive Transition Playbook, as well as The Truth About Change, where I share time-tested leadership advice so you can lead yourself and others to achieve positive business outcomes. In today's segment, we're going to discuss how to make your strategy work by getting your organization ready and engaged to lead the new way. Here's an interesting statistic. Booz has a research database of over 125,000 people in over 1,000 companies, and they've shown that 3 out of 5 employees rate their company weak at strategy execution. Well, this means that many companies are leaving opportunity on the table. In fact, there are also some studies that show that 70% of strategic initiatives fail to achieve the intended results. Now, you don't want to be one of these statistics, so ask yourself, is your strategy, your strategic plan, set up for success? Are your leaders truly bought into the strategy? And is your organization aligned around the plans going forward? Now, most leaders will tell me yes, but according to the research, your employees are saying no. In this segment, we're going to discuss how you can move from developing a strategy to implementation to achieving the results you desire. Most people want results, but they don't want to make the changes. We may wish to lose those 10 pounds, but that glass of wine or a piece of chocolate cake, well, that's more enticing. We may want to grow our business, but when we're confronted with employees' issues, well, we'd rather be back in the office, working on anything else but overcoming those objections. To achieve new results are going to take new actions, and often those actions are not going to be comfortable. And I've found that leaders will talk themselves out of change. They'll even mask change by calling it something like a growth strategy, an innovation solution, a value creation plan. Well, who wouldn't want that for their company? But to grow the business, to launch a new product, to improve processes, or to enhance the bottom line means someone has to do something different. So by definition, for a strategy to work, people and leaders need to make some sort of change. And if we want to get everyone on board, we're going to need to stop fooling ourselves because people are smart. They know that a new strategy, a new program, well, that means change. A leader found this out the hard way. He and his management team announced a 4-pillar strategy to invest and grow in the business. However, people in the organization were highly skeptical. What was the problem? While this was a very well thought out strategy, it was overwhelming to the organization. There had been too many projects piled on top of an already busy workload. Additionally, in the past year, the company had experienced significant changes with minimal results. While a strategy and initiative fits really nicely on one page, as you take a deeper dive into the plans and what's really going on in the organization, people can actually be overwhelmed by all the work that's required. So getting people bought in, on board, and executing this strategy can be a challenge that you can overcome, but it's going to take leaders getting engaged alongside their people. No one wants to be the person who's going to oppose the strategy. In fact, if you disagree, you get pushed aside. It may even be a career ender. So it's easier to say nothing, to nod your head yes, than to articulate challenges that you see that lie ahead. I call this the bobblehead syndrome. And I see leaders use that to avoid uncomfortable conversations or just get the meeting over with. But it really doesn't solve the underlying issues. When people feel they can't raise issues, you are sure to see those problems later on. And it's better to step into these crucial conversations and get the team to open up and have frank discussions to identify and solve problems versus just seeing a bunch of head nods yes. Even if the announcement is good news, people are going to have some questions. There's going to be some natural resistance to change. People are going to need a moment to think about what's going on, what's happening to them, what does it mean to them? Often leaders can get a bit defensive and uncomfortable as they answer these questions. Truth? Don't take resistance personally, but do give people very clear direction on what's expected of them and some small actions they can take. Our role in strategy execution is to prepare and ready others to carry out those changes, and we pave the way to make that change occur. You can help people move ahead by facilitating discussions and getting people talking and surfacing those issues. Listen to the issues because they'll tell you where people are having trouble accepting and taking action. And if you don't have all the answers, be transparent. Tell people that and consider enlisting them and identifying potential solutions. So, through awareness, understanding, and creating a safe place for people to process and assess the situation, people are in a much stronger position to take an informed decision about how to participate. This cartoon says it all. Change happens, but not to me. As I've said, people want the results, but they don't necessarily want to be changed or even lead the change. Part of the leadership role is charting new ways forward, which means we're leading change. We want to help people pave that way by being clear on what people need to do and building the capability and capacity to get the job done. When colleagues express their struggles, well, don't discount their viewpoint. Instead, help your colleagues think through your best way to proceed. Show some empathy and welcome differences in perspectives, as these are early warning signs of areas to be addressed. Be empathetic and relate to what people are going through and provide them the information and the choices to take the easiest path forward. The truth about making strategies work is to acknowledge the changes and to get people engaged in strategy execution, and this starts with our leadership. Change-savvy leaders stand ready to assist the successful transition from a strategy to the execution to results, and they know that to do this, they need to create the bridge from strategy to results, and that is how they engage the people. So I want to share with you 4 ways in which you can get people engaged and moving your strategy forward. Whether you're leading the strategy, you're somewhere within the management ranks, or you're an individual contributor, when you are briefed on that strategy, really work to understand that strategy and plan. Work to get on the same page with your colleagues. See if you can take a fresh, objective look at that strategy and determine how that strategy impacts the business, customers, employees. Check in with your colleagues and see if you're in agreement and get aligned around the implementation going forward. 2, help people overcome that natural resistance by understanding what's going on and how they can contribute and play a role in the changes. Now you can do this by communicating and addressing their concerns. Be an interpreter. Provide objectivity and translate the strategy into terms people can understand from their perspective. Building acceptance paves the way to move people beyond compliance to create true engagement and ownership of the strategy and implementation plans. You can help by consistently discussing the strategy and how to make that a reality. Communication of the strategy over and over again. You might even get bored with the message, but people may still be processing the information. Consistency is key. And don't be afraid to get people talking. Some leaders are totally afraid to surface the issues. The point is to get others to understand and take accountability of that change with you. They can only do that if they work through the issues. So give people a place to work and talk. Give them a small task that they can take, that they can handle, versus inundating them with too many activities. What you want to do is build acceptance throughout the organization. 3, you want to prepare and help your leaders to lead the change. As you're executing the plans, you want to make sure that all leaders are prepared to communicate and support that strategy. It's not enough to communicate the changes from the top and expect the leaders and managers throughout the organization to figure it out for themselves. They won't. There is nothing worse for a strategy than when a manager is asked questions by a direct report and the manager's reply is, "Hey, I'm learning about this at the same time you are." What a missed opportunity to reinforce the messages. Instead, prepare all leaders to cascade messages. By the way, telling leaders the information is not the same as preparing them to communicate and answer questions. So make sure that there are adequate preparation sessions, and don't assume that when a leader nods their head yes, that they're actually in agreement. 4, give the leaders the tools to lead the change. There are many areas we could discuss here. I want to pick up one that has to do with change readiness. And there are 4 questions that I like to share with clients I work with To assess the readiness of people to change, here are the four. 1. Are people clear about what to do? In essence, do they understand the strategy and have clear directions of what they need to do? 2. Are people ready and capable to execute the plan? Will high-performing organizations ensure people have the necessary training and skills and the support of their management to carry out that work? 3. Do people have a clear path to execute the work? What might be getting in their way? Too often people get tripped up in the execution because they feel pressed for time, or they feel there aren't the right resources or the right technology or processes or systems. Well, while we may not be able to give people a 26-hour day, what we can do is help them prioritize their work within the time frame they have. We might not be able to increase the budget or create more resources or change our processes, but we can help people work within the limitations of our organization. So be sure to identify some of those obstacles and remove those obstacles so people can take action. And finally, and this one's the most important, what will motivate people to keep moving ahead? And are you providing sufficient positive feedback and encouragement to make it a safe place for people to try new ways of working? Are people motivated to work in those new ways? These four questions, I find extremely helpful to assess the ability of an individual, a team, or an organization and their readiness to take action. So how you choose to lead and engage others makes the difference between success and failures. And you don't have to go it alone. Acknowledge that strategies are changed and bring in your tools. Make sure that you and everyone else on the team understands the direction. Build acceptance so that people are engaged and accountable for their actions. To do this, prepare leaders to lead the strategy execution and give the leaders the information they need to execute with excellence. It's been great chatting with you. This is Hillary Potts with Leadership Strategies to help you bring your best. If you've liked what you heard and you're looking for more ideas, then download my Leader Change Toolkit now. And you can find that at www.hillarypotts.com/resources.html. In that toolkit, what you'll find are some pieces from my book, The Truth About Change. You'll find ways to get prepared for a significant project. You'll find a framework to help you lead the effort, and you'll find some more details on five time-tested leadership behaviors that you can successfully navigate any situation. And again, it's on www.hillarypotts.com/resources.html. You can also find additional resources on my website at www.hillarypotts.com. Also, check out my two books. The Truth About Change is a guide to helping leaders successfully lead strategic initiatives. The other book, The Executive Transition Playbook, is a step-by-step process to make the most of the first 100 days in a new role. Both books are available on Amazon.com. Also on my website, you'll find additional information about my coaching and consulting programs, and I also provide tips and tools and other blogs, podcasts, and videos. So until the next time, continue to bring your best to leading yourself and others. Bye for now.